I reached review time with Imperial, and today's review will be BMF Season 3, Episode 9. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Let's get into it. So, this episode was a decent episode to lead us into the season finale for Episode 10. You know, last week left off with Meech getting set up and end up in a hotel with the two women and end up tossing one of Glock's men out the window named T'Chaka. So this episode started off with, it's always a flashback. This one was a flashback of Meech and Terry at like a lake, not really a beach, always wanting to get to Miami Beach, and pretty much saying, you know, they're going to make it to Miami Beach, and it had them make their references of Tony Montana, which is Scarface movie that came out in the 80s. And so this is the episode where they get to Miami, speak with the car architect Francois, so that he is the one who gives them the great car modifications so that they can steal their I said steal, so they can plant their drugs and hide their drugs, so if they get stopped by cops, they never get caught with anything. So it shows T meets Meech in Miami. He also brings Markeisha with him. So we fun fact that I came across of a video with the real Markeisha. She stated that her name is not her name, because Markeisha is not her real name. She stated she was 9 years older than T. I didn't know she was that much older than T. So when he first started coming around her, he was like 18, she was like 27. So that was a big gap. I didn't think it was that far of a gap. So that was but nevertheless, the episode starts off. T brings Markeisha with him with Meech. And Markeisha was a nuisance this whole episode, because they're coming down here for business. T shouldn't have barred her, and she's thinking they should be on vacation, where she knows the business, but she like, we should be out here having a good time. Terry's trying to handle business. She just on her own trip, so she was annoying. Of course, it did reflect and show Meech that Meech don't care for her. So it's always highlighting Meech never cared for her, and always pretty much looked at Meech never really liked her. So they supposed to meet Francois at the club that night, and they with the boxer Mac. So leave a comment on this video if you know who the boxer Mac is supposed to be. He's in Florida, so I'm thinking maybe, could it be Roy? But it just, because this is still in 92. And Roy didn't start getting real popular and on until like the late 90s. So if this maybe just a fictional character, but if it is, this boxer is based upon somebody, you know, somebody leave a comment who the boxer is supposed to be. Nevertheless, they met with the boxer. Angel seen Meech, and AK seen Meech, so they pretty much know Meech was responsible for T'Chaka getting killed or dying or whatever. So they're pissed, and Meech and Terry broke for it, and the AKs raised their guns because they in with the bouncer. So Meech and them had to leave, even though they were supposed to meet Francois. So from there, the next day, they go meet Francois. And when they go meet Francois is kind of standoffish because they stand him up. But this is where it shows Terry is coming into his own with negotiations and all that, because Meech tried to use his charisma, but that wasn't needed at this time. So Terry took the approach is that Francois was making this artifacts of different car parts and made it look like a transformer type thing. And Terry was like, hey, I'll buy this off you. And then he was like, for 200. And Terry was like, be proud of your work. I give you 250, and I give you a down payment. And so that right there touched Francois to give him another chance. So me back at Detroit, it showed Bryant and Jen talking, and she came to visit him, seeing what happened to his knuckles. He pretty much said, I killed Henry's cousin Tyson. And where she said, where you dump him at? He said, I put him in a safe spot. And he just dumped him in the back of a building somewhere, of course. And so they pretty much said once Henry find out, she's gonna go 8. And once she go 8, it's gonna be on. So it shows back in Miami where the MKs is at T'Chaka's funeral, and the priest is pretty much telling Glock, don't get revenge, because he wants revenge. He pretty much telling him don't get revenge, and Glock pretty much was like, nah, revenge to the rest of the crew. So they pretty much, at that moment, Angel was there looking, and they told one of Glock's men was like, what's she doing here? He pretty much he know her her stee. Whoever serves her best, that's who she gonna be with. Although she do got a soft spot for Meech. So they pretty much told everybody they gonna watch her and follow her to Meech. So back in Atlanta, it shows like 3 different scenes with Remy Ransom and his new right hand homie, and talking about where's Meech and them, and the Stair City. Then another scene that had them saying, what is Meech and them doing in Miami? And pretty much they are probably bringing the weight back down to Atlanta, and we got to stop them. So that was pretty much for Remy Ransom, and they did pull that off at the end of the episode. But back in Detroit, Charles got a rehearsal, and he was in there on his own playing. Did a good job. They pretty much they offered Charles a gig for his music, going on a 6-week tour where they supply accommodations and pay him, and so basically opportunity of a lifetime for him. And I keep saying in 97 or 98, you can look it up, Charles did have a hit record out there. And so, of course, with the good news, he's thinking about Lucille and that he's going to lose his wife. And pretty much Lucille is gone, and she's fighting with, she knows she's out of the marriage, but before she fully give herself to the doctor, she want to make sure that she's no longer married. So she want to do it clean. So that's what happens with Lucille, because she goes out to dinner with the doctor, and he gave her the keys. He had a hotel room and pretty much told her, that's what he got it for. And she wanted him to jump her bones, but she pretty much said, I was still married. She still had her wedding ring on. And so when she did that, he pretty much said, I love you, and I'll wait for you forever. I waited for you this long. So she left, and that touched her. But that also, when she been going through it, showed her how she been holding on her life too long, and now she need to live her life for her. So Charles did ask her in this episode to go on tour with her, but she pretty much, telling him, no, you go, because her heart is still with the family, but she want to explore these things with the doctor. Now, the jury was out. A lot of people might think that, the doctor has a whole nother family somewhere else. The way it seemed, like it's not trending like that. It's trending like, he really is single right now. So back in uh Miami, Meech and Terry called his crew from Detroit. Meech called his people from Atlanta, bring in the cars so that Francois can modify these cars and put these safes in the cars and seal them away so that the cops, when they pull the cars over, they won't be able to get them. Back in Detroit, you had Detective Jen went undercover again with Henry and put a tracking device on her with a microphone, put it on her cane that she walks with, and then of course she made it out with Henry to get her trust. So that's what Jen did. So of course, while Meech was in Miami, he got the call from Loco. He got a shipment, come pick up the shipment. So they pretty much looked at this is the perfect time and for them to test out these new cars they got. He pretty much Meech offered Francois that basically if you move to Atlanta, you're gonna have your own business. You're gonna be able to do all the cars you want, do them how you want, and you'll be able to run shop in Atlanta. Meanwhile, Meech was like, we got this weight, perfect time to execute this. Now, Meech and Terry pretty much looked at it as, if we pull this off, we'll be able to be our own distro. We won't need nobody to transport the drugs from Miami. We could do it ourselves. So that was there, and you had Nicole was there at the house by herself with her little boyfriend Breeze. The dad came in, he hid behind the door and then slipped out the window. She getting closer to Breeze. The dad said, we're going out to dinner, and then they went out to dinner. They talked, and she mentioned Breeze as her boyfriend, and after she mentioned Breeze was her boyfriend, he was like, tell me about him, and she told him some things, and pretty much he was basically looking at her like, I was about your mom's age when I was about your age when I got with your mom, and she was pretty much like he told her just wait, don't rush anything, and she's like, well, you think you got some regrets? He was like, nah, you just got time. So basically saying you got some time and you put all your eggs in one basket and it could end up sour at the end. And she was like, well, I never do anything like you did. And he was like, what? Like what you did to mom. And she's like, I didn't mean it like that. He's like, yeah, you did, but it's okay. I gotta take that. So he put on some music so that she can, they could do a father-daughter dance. But it seems like it's shaping up for Nicole to get pregnant or something like that. Just the signs all show like she gonna get pregnant early or something like that because it keeps highlighting her relationship or whatever. So we'll see how that's gonna pan out or whatever. So from there, back in Miami, after the cars was modified and let me go back. It was one key moment when Charles was dancing with Nicole. He said, I remember you used to stand on my feet when you were little and we would dance. And he said, one day I might have to stand on yours. Basically, it still showed the family togetherness that they have. And basically, like, I might not be as strong and I'm going to need your strength to stand on you or whatever. So that was cool scene right there. Back to Miami with Meech and Terry. They got everything together and they were ready to leave. And when they was ready to leave, they told Markeisha and Angel, because Angel had to get away and she was being followed by Glock and them, and they was going to kill her pretty much how she felt. So she was with Meech. gave Angel and Markeisha a gun, told them they need to stay in the hotel. They stay in the hotel for 2 days while Meech and them got the cars ready and got the weight and everything stashed in the car. When they came back, Markeisha pretty much blacked out at Terry, saying we supposed to be on vacation. So like I said, she was annoying. So Terry was like, listen, you need to just go home. And she's like, I'll make my own way home. I know I handle myself. And so she went about her way. When Meech and Terry and Angel went down the lobby, the MKs was coming in looking for them. So they tried to sneak out. Angel, just like true to form, she she drops her purse to say my purse. It set off noise. And then all of a sudden, Meech had her, he rushed Glock, punched Glock on the ground, and just start stomping Glock out. And the MKs turned around and just start shooting at the window. Terry and Angel had already got out, and Meech was the last to get out. While they were shooting, Glock rose up, and friendly fire, Glock's own men shot him down. Now, he was shot in the middle of the chest or middle of his stomach. He could be dead. We don't know. He was squirming on the ground towards the end, and Meech jumped in the car and rolled off. And when they jumped in the car and rolled off, they were headed after Meech. Meech hurried up, got back to the warehouse, and when he got back to the warehouse, he told everybody they need to leave and told Angel to go with them, and he was going to dip off. And when the MKs follow him, they could all dip off and go their way. So that's what they did. Meech met them all at the beach. They thought something happened to Meech. And Meech and Terry had a bro moment, basically saying to each other, you know, you did your thing. You know, you really showing like, you know, you're a boss. And Terry was pretty much saying like, yeah, I had to get out of your shadow pretty much. And he didn't know how much pressure it is being a number one. And so back in Detroit from there, it shows Blaze and Henry identifying the body of Tyson, Blaze's nephew and Henry's cousin. So she's pissed. She's ready to go ape. And Blaze told her stand down and don't do anything. And they're pretty much looking at her as, listen, this is retaliation from T and them because what you did. And so Brian and Jen is listening to this and pretty much said, we'll let Terry and them take each other out and then we'll swoop in and get Henry in the end. So by the end of the episode, it showed T's right-hand man, Hoop, at the restaurant taking some trash out. Henry sitting in the cut. Hoop come out, and Henry guns him down out in the back of the restaurant. He guns him down. Now he's squirming on the ground, and it'd be messed up because Hoop seemed like a good character if Hoop dies off of this, but the way it's looking like Hoop is shot up and he's dead from Henry. So that's going. Henry's going to end up in jail pretty much. So from there, it shows the episode ends with pretty much Meech and no, before the episode ends, it's Charles and Lucille meeting up again, talking, and he pretty much said he needs an answer because, you know, about the tour. And she pretty much said she got to go through with the divorce, and if she didn't, she'll feel like she's not living and she's not giving herself a chance. And so she told him that pretty much he needs to go on tour so he could follow his dreams and embrace the opportunity that he got. And she got to go through with the divorce, and he telling her he loves her and everything like that, and that's pretty much it. And she said that she loves the doctor. So that was it. And then the last scene, it shows Meech and them all getting pulled over by the Red Dogs when they get back to Atlanta. And the Red Dogs pretty much can't find anything, but they still saying they going to impound the cars. And so they were supposed to have weight on them, but they're not finding nothing. So Meech and them is pretty much looking like, who could have set us up? Of course, we know it was Remy Ransom and his crew. And so that's how the episode ended. And it just ended with Meech talking about like he's supposed to be the savior and win. So he gonna pretty much handle business. That was the end of the episode. Another decent episode. Episode 10, we're gonna see how it all ends. Season finale. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Till next time.